Okay, good morning everyone. My name is Benjapol Worasuwannarak. I'm the Allied Business Lecturer from International College, Sosanata Ratchapat University from Thailand. This is my great honor to talk about the active learning in the next century of the learning atmosphere that you have. I think that you have to know and understanding the world has been changed, and the kids nowadays, they don't like to take action and participating in class for the whole time. So we have to flipping the technique while we are teaching in class. Therefore, the active learning can be very good modern tool to helping kids, students to learn and know more than they thought before. The active learning is a concept that creating on think difference. Try to show that you can think different out of the box. As the lecturer, as the teacher, do not force them. No rules in the class. Ethic not necessary at all. Try to avoid on that. Try to let them think out of the box, as I already mentioned. You want students to want to come to the class, interesting, get knowledge, got the idea, as a social want. So we had to listen to them. Try not to force them to do number 1, number 2, or number 3. Try to let them get everything from their idea and come up with the result from the class. This is the concept of the active learning. So we had to flipping on it. The learning model in the present day, as we can see that the first one we call PBL, or the problem-based learning. This is study from the problem and make the real situation. It normally comes from like scientific theory that creating the problem first and then try to find the solution from the real situation. Rather than PBL, we got flipped classroom or switch from student to teacher. Or nowadays, as the COVID-19, we can do the flipped classroom by learning the theory from the online. And when you get in the class, let's do some discussion activity. As I do in my class, I do teaching online on the main theory because students can listen anywhere in the world while they listen to the theory. And after that, they come to the class and they can share the idea after finish in each unit of class. STEM came from science, technology, education, metric. No class, but learn from the real situation. You learn from the real thing in the world. Get into the park, learning from atmosphere, learning from the environment. And the fourth one, work-based learning, means working instead of the learning. Like you go for the internship and you can learn lots of things rather than just sit in the class. The future skill, learning skill, is very important. The kids need to get very good learning skill. They can learning anywhere in the world. Not only in the class, they can learning from Google, they can learning from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or even Netflix. Working skill, they can be able to working in variety of the skill of the working. It depends on what characteristic of they like a lot. Thinking skill and life skill, those are two main important as well. They have to learn how to live in their own life. And they have to thinking a lot. Thinking out of the box, those are the future skill or the kids. This one example of the teaching facilitate a learning experience. You have to help students uncover the knowledge. Students may asking what kind of the knowledge that they want to get. Like you are teaching mathematics. It's not only mathematics that you have to know the equation. You can know more. It depends on what kind of knowledge they want to know. Front of classroom disappear. Try to not let the student stand in front of the classroom and answer my question. It's not good, right? Try to let them be active in learning. Students work in collaborative group. work as a group, work as a team. Informal assessment provide recommendation and enrichment and build in technology to supporting their class, like online learning as already mentioned. You can use a variety of the online learning tools like Google Meet, Microsoft Zoom, or like my program Loom. They can recording the video, my voice from the PowerPoint. There are two types of the thinking. The first one we call logical thinking, like mathematical model of thinking, got pattern of thinking. Only one answer, like 1 + 1 equal to what? 1 + 1 equal to 2. Definitely 2. This one we call logical. Logical based on the real thing that you cannot adapt into left or right. It must be straight only. But this one is much more important. Creative thinking, no pattern of thinking, can be any answer, no right or wrong, and good for the learning. You have to show the skill. Creative thinking. Let them thinking on their own creativity. If the kids can show their own creativity, it means that they open their mind and they want to come to the classroom to show their ability. Do not force them that this is wrong. Always say that I agree with that, but I think that you should answer this because it's with your explanation. In creative thinking, the starting of the CBL or creative-based learning or the active learning make different but with value. Neither different and must be better. Like already mentioned, show ability in the classroom. Let them try to like the classroom. Think a lot, think out of the box, not the logical thinking all the time. Higher IQ does is lead success than higher creative. I said that. If it doesn't matter that you got high IQ, but you haven't got any creativity, like Albert Einstein said that creativity is better than the knowledge. So you have to get very good creativity while you are learning. 1,500 companies seeking the creative person, as it shows the sign of the future leader. You are very good student. You got GPA 4.0, but you haven't got creativity in mind. You'll not be able to do something very good in the future too. We are afraid of the wrong that leads to no creative thinking, and creative can make anything possible, right? Don't block their mind. Try to open the kids' mind by creative thinking. The process of the CBL or the active learning, convincing the interest. Try to convince the student in the class to show their interest and answer the question. Point the problem and try to find a solution. If the kid get confused, try to point some problem and let them try to find a real solution. When students doubt, will answer individual, not all. Everyone must find a solution on their own. And got competition in class to make excitement like game. You can use a game to show them that you have to challenging any answer. Do project but only in class. Do not make a project out of the class. Try to let them get the life skill as already mentioned. Presentation and teaching to your friends. Let them presenting and teaching your friend instead of you. Evaluation in many metrics. The context of the CBL. The first one, supporting everyone to think as much as possible. Less teaching, but more idea sharing. Answer question with question. Don't ask the question, but answer the question with question. Listen and support. Do not correct when the student said the wrong answer. Do not rush to conclude what students speak or answer. Make the interesting new trend. More than 90 minutes in class make them enjoyable, making them to develop, willing to do and cooperate and do not command. This is important. Cooperate in the team, in the group. Do not command them to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let them thinking out of the box. The CBL concept encouraging working, thinking, presenting, and evaluation with the metric. Those are the step-by-step of the CBL. I'll go one by one. Encouraging is mean why you have to study, what is the real benefit of this class, and make a surprise the media competition. Try to show them that this class is very important and you have to study. If you would like to learn more and more, you have to attend to this class. Working and problem. What will you teaching? Let them ask you, what will you teaching? And you have to answer in very creative style. The real problem, what knowledge is required to study the course? Group of the research for presenting, debate, role play, video presentations can do so. Thinking, dividing into group of interest. Do not strict with the number of the persons. Mean if you're interested in food, you can be in this group. If you're interested in travel, you'll be in this group. Do not say that. Divide into 5 groups. Make varieties of activities. Point the resource to make it clear. Talk with students while doing, and let them think out of the box. Presenting, make all of them interesting to listen. Let them give a score. It's a good idea. Like if you haven't get them a score, like no one going to listen to the one who presenting in front of the class. But if the student participating in the presentation, they can be able to listen carefully and giving them some score. Encouraging after presentation and gathering all information by lecturer, evaluating as well. Evaluation with metric. There are three types of the metric. The first one, knowledge. Second one, skill. And third one, characteristic. To evaluate and do not mix up everything. You can do some evaluation by open books exam. Let them thinking from out of the box again. Exam with no answer is mean open end. The student can get any idea to answer or that, but need to be related in the topic. Team exam and can re-exam anytime if they are not interested in their point. They can re-exam anytime. Creative thinking testing, developing from Guilford. They say that alternative use tasks and Kogan assessment of creativity. In theory, this testing requires software and people to analyze the result. The function in creative thinking or testing. The first one, fluency. Answer a lot. Try to answer a lot of questions. If you're asking what color do you like, and you can answer a variety of the color that you are like. Flexibility. Show the different point of view. Originality. Can answer something that no one answered yet. Like the new idea, the new concept. Elaboration. Narrative answer. Example. Fluency, clean the window, wrap the bottle, and sell what? You can answer anything that related to the word, but open the mind to answer that. Flexibility, wrap ice cream box to remain the cold. Originality, need to check the answer with database. Elaboration, bring the nation newspaper to wrap walls, vanilla ice cream box from Tesco. The reason why we have low creativity skill, because the first one, we got too much memory and we learn from the past. That's why we cannot open our mind and show the new creativity in the future as well. We got the block of our brain, afraid of wrong by theory. We know too much, we learn too much. So when we would like to answer one thing, we always thinking about the theory. Is this related or not? If related, we will answer, but if not, we won't answer. This one is very bad for our creativity skill and less imagination. Like Albert Einstein said, you have to show more of your imagination if you would like to think of something new. The tips of the CBL or the active learning. The first one, stop thinking of teaching because you are not the best. Anyone can be a teacher. Try to listen to them and let them share their idea. When we assign the project for students, let's do in class. Let them research before thinking possibility. Stop remember but start understanding, and stop making too many rules. Try to make less rule or no rules. In the coaching, if you would like to become the coaching and ignore the training, the coach and the trainer got variety of differences. The first one, the trainer going to do one in the group, but the coach going to be one by one. Trainer can control process and content, but the coach does not own the content. Let them do it by their own. And the trainer going to direct learning, whereas the coach going to two-way interaction, like you can share, you can talk to each other, control process through question. Therefore, the coaching is a lot better than a trainer because like you can share more idea than direct to the rules. The great coach get very good passion, caring, contributing, and valuing in your team. Professional personality, performance, produce your own knowledge. The good technique of the coaching, let students choose own group. Do not force to pick up in any topic. Try to let them choose on their own interesting. Don't asking, do you have any question? But point and ask one you want to ask. And let them ask the question, but lecturer will answer after finish everything instead. Coach is not the best, but it's the inspirer to inspiring other people to do. You do not need to know 100%, but guiding them to learn. Follow up every time after class and do not tell the way, but guide the way. Okay, those are the concept of the CBL or the active learning. To remind you that if you would like to bring the active learning to the class, try to not stop their creativity style of your student in the classroom. Let them got their own imagination. Get no rules, no forcing them, and you can be able to let them like to come to your class. Thank you very much.